It's like having tattoos in Japan are like indicative of the Yakuza, right?
Supposedly, even though it didn't start with the Yakuza, it started with firefighters.
What?
Yeah. So when I interviewed the ex-Yakuza member, he obviously we got onto the topic of tattoos, right?
Yeah.
Because the guy's fucking covered in tats. And he told me that originally firefighters during the Edo period would get tattooed. And I was like, why firefighters?
Wow.
And it's like, so that if they die in a fire, it's easy to identify the body.
Oh God.
And I'm like, and it's like they put it in there.
That took a fucking turn.
Yeah. and I'm like, that took a fucking dark turn. But then he put it into perspective, being like, it's also just a matter of like you having that tattoo back in the older days. That was an honor, because that just showed, that was undying proof that you are doing a very dangerous job to save other people's lives.
Yeah.
And for some reason, over the course of time, with the Yakuza and like how you'd get tattooed when you enter jail and stuff like that, as a mark, it just slowly turned into like a negative connotation to the point where now today, any Japanese person with like a fucking little tiny star tattoo on the back of their palm is considered a Yakuza member, and it's like, it's just so, and it's gone to the point where like you can't enter, obviously hot springs is like a common one, but you can't even enter like public pools. You can't go to some beaches if you have tattoos.
Yeah, my gym, like I mentioned, was Anytime Fitness, right?
Yeah, you can't go to gyms.
And the only sign on the wall that is in English is, "Dear all international members," not even like German. "Dear all international members, please cover up any tattoos that you might be showing."
And it's like, and it's weird because it's like, think about it logically. Just because you have a tattoo, it doesn't mean that person is a fucking psychopath or a Yakuza. But it's that whole mental image of, oh, they're such a bad person because they put some fucking ink in their body, that, it's this weird stipulation of tattoo equals Yakuza now.
Yeah.
Which is so dumb. So especially when it comes, the one I don't understand is when that same rule applies to foreigners here.
Yeah, that is kind of odd.
Yeah. And I'm like, you do realize Yakuza is like a Japan thing only, right, guys? Like,
It says a lot about Japanese society.
Says a lot about Japanese society.
It says a lot about society.
It says a lot about the absolute state of Japanese society.
Say a lot about
said this
society.
meme wasn't funny, yet here he is giggling away to himself saying it.
I'm
How the tables have turned.
It's because we've said
We
it
know
about
what this
like
episode's going to be called
5
now.
million times.
This is what I'm saying. When the memes that aren't funny become funnier, the more you just keep saying it.
Yeah.
Squid Game. So he just left. He just left.
No, but like,
It's
but
pretty funny.
yeah, that is pretty funny. But like the Yakuza guy was saying that it's what?
He's just laughing at Squid Game.
The Yakuza guy was just saying that he put it into like really interesting. I mean, I asked him like, what do you think about the whole like tattoo stigma? And he was like, oh, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, because the whole point of a Yakuza tattoo is we put in tattoos not to show people but to conceal it. It's like a massive difference. The people who want to show tattoos, that's got nothing to do with fucking Yakuza. The Yakuza isn't going to go around fucking being like, check out my tats, bro. Like, they don't do that. And until Japanese people understand that, I don't think the stigma's ever going to go away. I'd like to think it's starting to go away because young people now in Japan are getting tats and they don't give a fuck. Right?
Well, do you think the new generation of Japan are more open to the idea of like, foreigners and just, things like ideas like
Yeah,
that?
very much so.
Yeah.
I mean, Japan has been Americanized for decades now, almost centuries now. And yeah, but like, I feel it's only just recently where they, look at, American celebrities and singers with, who are covered in tats, and they go, if they can do that, maybe we can do that too. Who the fuck knew that maybe just because you have a fucking Justin Bieber tattoo, it doesn't make you a Yakuza member.
Yeah, because like most of our exposure to like Japanese society comes from the older generation, right? Because they have all the power in government. So I actually have no idea about what the youths in Japan are like thinking, and how much of an effect.
I mean, you walk down, Shinjuku or Shibuya any time of the day or night, and you'll see young people covered in tats all the time. Japanese people covered in tats all the time.
I know this is kind of off topic, but I remember like someone told me that when Avengers came out, right, and you do press tours, apparently it was really difficult for Robert Downey Jr. to come here because he had a criminal record in the US.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, okay, I mean I get it, but like, I mean,
but he's not doing it now.
Yeah, it's like, all right, it just kind of shows that it's like there's no room for. But I mean, I think other countries are similar as well. If you have a criminal record, they won't let you in. But it's just kind of like,
But Japan is definitely the type of country where you make one mistake, you are dead to the world.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't matter how much you do to try and redeem it or try and like change your image that you're a better person, you're a fixed person now. You make one mistake, you're fucked.
But it's the one thing that is really worrying is that like a lot of the laws and like punishment specifically surrounded in like creep crimes, I'll say. Like the
crimes?
You know, like being a chican or being a pervert or being caught like taking pictures of people in places. Punishment, have you seen how little you have to pay?
Yeah.
Some of them are like $20 fines.
Yeah.
Like $20. What's the point? That's a Saturday night out with the boys.
Not even.
Do that.
Yeah, like
are you kidding me?
Like they have so many stalkers here because
It's
you just
so bad.
You just face no repercussions for stalking someone.
Yeah,
It's actually like terrifying.
It's because unfortunately in a lot of cases in Japan, if it's not physical harm that is a result of the crime, then it's not even considered. Like they don't take into consideration that you can be mentally scarred from a crime, and that's still having real life repercussions because they just think, oh, but did he touch you? Did he stab you? Did he hurt you in any way? Oh, then then you'll get over it. It's like, well, no, because some people don't fucking get over it. Like, it's pretty fucking traumatizing for some young women to get, creeped on, getting their photos taken, most likely being leaked on the internet without them knowing. And then for the fucking law system to turn around and go, you'll get over it.
It's fucked up because nearly every single Japanese woman I spoke to had some horrible experience of someone being a pervert.
Nearly every Japanese woman and pretty much every foreign woman as well has had a creepy experience. I'm pretty sure Sydney has some as well.
Aki's definitely had some, and it's horrible.
It's actually like terrifying, and it's fucked up, and I don't know how to change it because it's not even our country to change.
But I think.
But it was so weird for me hearing the first time you go to Japan, and if you buy a phone in Japan, there is no silent option when you take a picture. If you buy a phone in Japan, no matter what handset it is, if it's a Japanese handset, you cannot turn off the sound of the shutter when it takes a picture.
I mean, my phone is that, right?
Yeah, me too.
So my phone's on silent right now.
Right.
Yeah, that made just like that doo-doo sound.
Yeah.
And like in many ways, you hear about that in isolation. You think, well, that's good. You're protecting people, but it's like, what did it take for it to get to that point where we had to then keep the shutter on? Like, how rampant was it? And the fact that Japan, as far as I know, is one of the only countries on earth that has widespread adoption of female-only cars.
Yeah. Only during a certain time, though.
Right. Like, which
I feel completely takes away the point of a female-only car, if you ask me. Because it's like, oh, then I just have to avoid these times.
And I'm sure in other countries that women would welcome that. Yeah. But it's like, how, for it to be done and have to be done says a lot.
Yeah.
And, about society. And I wouldn't, me personally, I wouldn't want to raise a daughter in Japan. I would be scared to death of letting her go on the train or something.
I think the other problem as well is it's that a lot of the parents here as well, and not that I'm trying to tell Japanese parents how to be parents, but considering I'm not one myself, but I think the problem is that a lot of the parents also just don't teach their daughters what to do during those situations, right? Because they're like, I feel like you ask any American parent or just Western parent, if their daughter were to get into a horrible situation like that, to teach them some self-defense or try and defend themselves in any way that they possibly can, to make a statement to be like, I'm not fucking afraid of you, back off, right? In Japan though, they don't do that.
No,
because there's no repercussions even if they get caught. So
well,
they just if I just ignore it, then maybe it'll go away. But it doesn't.
If a guy is jacking off to you on a train and you punch him in the face in Japan,
then you're the one that gets in trouble.
Then you're the asshole because you're the one who initiated physical violence.
Exactly.
Right? So in the eyes of the police, you're the one who initiated it. It's weird. It's
you can make the argument of, it's self-defense, but then the law will turn around and go, well, he wasn't technically hurting you.
And also, do you have proof that he was, doing these acts? Right? Yeah, it's
sad, man. It's really sad.
Yeah, there is a fundamental problem, and just, I don't know, maybe they're trying to change the law. Maybe they don't give a fuck. I don't know. But either way, it's messed up, and it's more messed up that, again, the parents are not teaching enough kids
I think there definitely needs to be more protection for women here.
Yeah.
It is a thing.
Women-only cars is minimum protection.
No, yeah, exactly. The
Yeah.
fact that we have to have women-only cars.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have got to
And
that
even
point.
then,
There
it's-
should
it's
be
not solving the problem.
That's not a solution.
No.
You know what I mean? And yeah, pretty much every female I've talked to has had a story. You know,
Yeah.
has a story.
Yeah.
There was a TV show I was watching, and it was literally called like Chican Hunters or something. And it was literally like a show where like 4 undercover cops would just go on a train, and it was like this is just real cameras, and it was like GoPro footage. But of course, because it's in Japan.
So Chris Hansen, Japan.
Yeah,
version.
but of course it's in Japan, right? So everything is censored. You literally cannot see anything. The whole, because they're on a train with a GoPro.
Yeah.
Because of Japan, they don't like to show people on TV.
Yeah.
You can't see anything in this train.
Yeah.
They've blurred it out, right? But to distinguish who the pervert is and who the victim is, they're just blue blurs and a pink blur. Right? And you can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
What
shit
channel
TV.
is this?
I think it was maybe 3, Tokyo.
Okay.
TBS.
Maybe TBS.
Yeah.
I don't know which channel it was. I only really watched like 3. I don't watch NHK. NHK's boring. But it was like, first of all, I was like, this is terrible production. This is awful.
Yeah.
But, like, why are they? But they found like 4 dudes doing this in like one day.
Yeah.
In like the same like car. And it's like, what the fuck? And they would have to get camera footage of them doing it like multiple times.
Yeah.
To prove that it wasn't an accident, because they could do the whole bump and touch their ass, but they would have to like catch them multiple times. And then I don't know what they did. I assume they just gave them like a slap on the wrist or something, but they wouldn't show their face or anything. And it was just like, you wonder, you're like, well, clearly like this punishment isn't effective. Like if you shamed them for doing it, would it help a little bit? But it's also like, is it fair to ruin someone's life over that? I don't know. Probably not. But like, it's weird. Also, there was like 20 cops for like one dude touching a girl's ass cheek. I was like, I think you don't need this many
No,
cops.
I think 1, maybe 2 is enough.
I think 2 cops can handle one pervert. I think it's okay. I don't think you need like the whole.
The dude is
environment.
not like 9 feet tall and like 500 pounds. Like,
crazy.
I think one person can handle it.
It's crazy, right? So they have the 4 undercover detectives on this train, right? They find the guy, they come out, and then there's like 8 more police escorting this one guy.
Fucking
and
hell.
it's like I get it. Like it's you got to arrest him. You want some backup. I totally understand, but like, how much do you need? Like, come on, like, how much taxpayer money is going towards that? There's 12 dudes arresting that
I mean,
one
there's
guy.
probably, to some of those cops, it's like, oh, finally, my first actual job.
Bro, the fine doesn't even cover his walk from the train to the fucking train holding room. Like the police time wasted doesn't even cover the fine they gave this dude.
Yeah, it's a joke.
It's fucking stupid as fuck. It's like, and I'm sure if we went through UK police or any UK laws or Australian laws, I'm sure we could find another 10,000 million things to criticize about.
Yeah.
We're in Japan, and there's what's on our mind, bro. That was a societal deep conversation.
Sure,
Maybe the next one will be dumb.
This episode did say a lot about society.
This one said a lot about how society's kind of like Squid Game, huh?
Who knew that one of the deepest Trash Days episodes to date started with a shitty meme that makes no sense?
It says a lot about society.
It says a lot about society.
It says a lot about society.